Good morning, football fans. It's a lovely Saturday morning here in K-Town. I am the super genius, Dren Rollins, otherwise known as the super genius Wiley, sitting here in the Big Orange Bunker here on 1998 Championship Row, along with my sidekick, young and co-host, young Brandon, down in Chattahoochee. And this is the Very Orange live stream for October 2nd, 2021. It's time to play the Missouri Tigers. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning, Genius Wiley. Good to be here.
As
First
always,
and foremost, I'd like to give credit to these guys winning the East again.
4 years ago, 4 years ago, 4 years in a row.
Yes, sir.
Y'all have to forgive me this morning. My coffee is just now kicking in. Of course, I got a wicked case of bedhead. So yeah. So I'm going to be a little slow on the uptick, maybe. So
You ever notice how this Braves gear goes great with the Tennessee?
it does. It does. I mean, I tend to wear the classic '80s powder blue stuff, but that's my generation. So.
The Dale Murphy. I've seen that lovely shirt before. Yes. All right, as you said, we are taking on Missouri. What the hell you want to call it?
And contrary to what people think, this is a must win. We got to go over there and do some business today. Otherwise, the chances of going bowling become infinitely dimmer.
Yeah. As our fearless leader said on his show the other night, his theory on the levels of the SEC had Missouri and those beloved Wildcats, not beloved by me, had them in the middle somewhere.
Second tier below Georgia and Florida. So,
but it appears to be that Missouri is heading in the wrong direction to me.
Well, I mean, offensively, they're still good. Still good. I mean, Connor Bazelak still throws 300 yards a game. Josh Beatty runs for about 107, 108 yards a game. So they're like I think we talked about this before we went on air. They're 20th overall in total offense. So
yes,
that they can score. They can score points. That's not in question. The issue is beyond Blaze Aldridge, who they got that can play defense.
Right.
I mean, they gave up 300 yards rushing total to Kentucky and Chris Rodriguez. Now, granted, Chris Rodriguez is a good back. He's the top. He's statistically the best running back in the SEC right now. Mm-hmm. But you can't do that in the SEC and win.
Not expect to win. Despite what these newfangled no defense kind of teams think, you got to put helmet to helmet to shoulder pad.
If I'm Tyon Evans and Jabari Small, man, I am absolutely foaming at the friggin' mouth.
Absolutely.
We have been able to run block. We have been able to run block.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's going to be what carries the day for us.
Yeah.
Use the run to set up the pass because we got to figure out a way to pass block. I mean, we've given up the most sacks in the SEC this year, and the majority of them have been coming off the right side. I'm looking at you, Cade Mays. Come on, boy.
Speaking of which, the question comes up once again. Who are we getting at quarterback? I've got a quote from our coach.
Yeah.
when he was asked whether it was going to be Mr. Hooker or Mr. Milton. And he said Geronimo, the team physician, would make that decision. So what do you think Geronimo's going to say?
Here's what I, from like reading VolQuest and 24/7 and all the guys
We're giving our competitors love, you dumbass.
In the know. If Hooker is healthy, if Hooker can go, he's going to start. I mean, I was talking to some gentlemen last night who were broadcasting a high school football game, and they were talking about, well, Milton's the one the most talented. He really should play. I said no. That's because I shook my hand. I said, look, okay. Milton has not figured out how to put any touch on the ball. There's no finesse.
He's all arm.
All power. That's not saying he's not going to get there. I think he can get there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
as long as Hooker is more consistent and is better at matriculating the ball down the field. Thank you, Hank Stram. He's going to be the one out there, regardless of whether Milton's the more talented quarterback or not.
Yeah,
right now he is the better man for the job.
Full-heartedly agree.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be him. Hopefully everybody's healthy. Hopefully Cooper Mays is going to be able to go. I mean, Jerome Garvin is a good lineman, but that center is just not his position. He's a guard.
Yeah,
he's a guard. He just does not excel at that position.
Yeah,
and so that's going to be a problem, especially in pass protection if he has to call the signals at center. Defensively, I think we match up pretty well. I mean, I think right now, this game is probably better set up for us than anything matchup wise that we've seen all year in terms of being able to play and dominate and win. Our defense is still playing pretty well. I mean, especially where it counts, especially where it counted against Florida. Florida got all of their points on the ground.
And I'm glad you mentioned Florida. Go ahead.
Florida got all their points on the ground. Emory Jones through the air did not have a good game. He did. I mean, Hooker was 13 of 23 for 221 yards, I think. Most of that in the first half. And Florida's had trouble with any kind with the vertical game. And if we cover well and Tyler Barron can get home, and Tyler Barron and Matthew Butler can push the pocket, and Tyler Barron can get in the backfield. I think it's just going to be a long day. I'm 2.5 points. It might be close for a while, but I can see us pulling away on this one.
Yeah. I like this from Alontae Taylor. Speaking of that Florida game.
Manchester represent, baby. Go ahead.
Hell yeah. Alontae Taylor. We won't fall apart. This is how a leader speaks.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking those troops into Missouri. We're going to handle business. We won't fall apart after this Florida loss.
And that kid's, as far as a coaching standpoint, that kid's been through hell.
Yeah.
I mean, he's never wavered. He didn't pull a freaking toe. And I like Henry. I do. I think Henry is a great player. I think he's a very polite kid. He still walked away.
He still walked away.
Alontae didn't go.
Alontae stayed.
We need T-shirts that say #Alontae stayed.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
There's our first. There's Mitch. I know you're going to watch this.
Yeah, Mitch.
There's our first mark. There's our first T-shirt sale. #Alontae stayed.
Alontae stayed. All
Get on
right.
that.
So,
NIL. Maybe we can get him on the show. NIL. It's like, I'm from Manchester.
ooh, I like
I
that.
know people. I can get to him.
All right.
Yeah.
So Missouri's going to be favored by 3, giving up 3 points to us.
2.5. CBS Sports Line said 2.5, but
2.5.
Yeah.
Hey,
But,
we got somebody watching. Maybe it's Mr. Allday. Come on,
all night, all day, baby.
Join the Braves.
Come on
in. Wiley.
in.
So, I also like this. They've decided to go with all black, which is, of course, evil and disgusting, while the Vols go into Missouri wearing all white.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking the setup there. The good guys wear white.
Yes, exactly. Always shootout. White versus black. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, and we're going. They're wearing black. They're wearing black to hide all the blood they're gonna shed.
Hell yes.
It's like the old joke. The British sea captain is out on his boat and he's got 2 pirate ships that come up around him, and he calls down to his cabin boy, bring me my red shirt. And so they fight. They win. He doesn't want his men to see him bleed, so they fight. He wins, and he comes back. Then a few days later, he's surrounded by 20 pirate ships, and he calls down to his cabin boy, bring me my brown pants. I think we're kind of in a similar situation here with Missouri.
I think so.
I think they know what they got coming to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned before, 116th on defense.
Yep.
45th defensively.
Yes. We have taken some lumps. We took some lumps last week on our defense. I mean, we were the number 1 graded defensive line in the country.
For sure.
And we got run on. We did. We got to admit it. We got run on. I think but Missouri is not Florida.
No.
Not by a long
shot. Another quote from Mr. Taylor, and I'm paraphrasing on this one, was something like, we had our foot on their necks. We just let up on them. And while that's in theory a good thing to say, and yeah, they did handle their business in that first half. Our depth chart, is not there. I mean,
that's the main issue right now. I mean, that's where the transfer portal kills us.
Oh,
we lost so much, and so against these top teams, our frontline guys have the talent. There's no doubt, and they've been playing with a hell of a lot of effort. But when you get to that second, third level, that's where you got the Georgia and Alabama, Florida guys, where it's absolutely next man up.
Yeah.
We don't have that. We don't have that yet.
We don't have that next man.
All the glory to Rodney Garner, baby. You get to fix that. That's your job, dude. That's why we brought you in.
Absolutely.
I'm the coach of D-line. So that's nice to have an actual D-line coach this year.
It is.
That's been the biggest improvement. Seriously, is that one move right there? They have an actual, honest to God D-line coach who doesn't get fired the second week. Give me Brumbaugh. I hope you're doing well, sir. I really do.
What the fuck was that?
You got shit on so terribly last year.
Oh,
we did not know it at the time. I wish you all the best, sir. I really do.
Let me go. Since I did this a few weeks ago, let me go ahead and get this out of the way, and I'll show our guys here.
Wait, that's not me.
Well, we're always the fans of the week.
Oh well, I guess since we're technically employees, we're ineligible.
Definitely on the 9th, we will be the fans of the week.
Oh hell yeah!
But let me share.
If we can find this Wi-Fi, we may broadcast in the tailgate. that actually, hey, that's a pretty. Every once in a while, the ideas just pop. That's not a bad idea. We may broadcast from the tailgate. I like that idea.
I have bragged on your tailgate, your ability to get us into some kick-ass tailgate parties.
I do have a few good connections. I do. I have to admit.
Yeah, I remember just walking around and some guys talking to me. He's like, "Oh yeah, I was left tackle for the 68 Vols."
One of my family's best friends was a gentleman by the name of Scott Fair. Scott Fair passed away 4 or 5 years ago, but Scott was an offensive lineman for both Bill Battle and John and Coach Majors. He was Scott's last year at UT was Coach Majors' first year, and so and Scott was always really really good, really good to my Scott's dad. Dr. Clarence Fair was the town doctor in Manchester for years and years and years, and he was always really good. He was good friends with my grandparents. He always was really good to my dad, and Scott Scott by proxy was always really really good to me. And his wife Connie and daughter Ashley are both really good friends and fantastic people. So they have been very generous in their largesse and hooking me up over the years.
Yes, and that was exactly the gentleman that I'm speaking of. Such a great guy.
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear of his passing. Just came up and talked to me like I've known him for years.
Yep. They're like that. They are. They're really good.
But I consider myself to be like that. So when I see it in other people, I'm always grateful.
Yes.
That's
an excellent way of putting it.
Well, welcoming people in, I'm grateful for that action. All right, so a little more on the Missouri offense. Sorry, fans. Like I said, my technical difficulties. My page didn't want to share. Christopher Poodle Martin. We're going to get you on here. I got your picture up on my Facebook page. One day that'll work. To me, almost their entire offense is this kid, Connor Basilick.
Yes. Probably the most under the radar, the most underrated quarterback in the SEC. He's not Matt Corral.
I agree.
He's not Matt Corral. He's probably. I mean, I think he's on par with Will Levis. He's not JT Daniels.
Yeah.
But he's good. He'll find a place to play on Sunday, I think.
I think so too. I think if he were in a here we go, sexier offense. A little better team. Let's say he played for Ole Miss, the dreaded Running Rebels. Well, I guess I'll have to be rooting for this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at something. Keep talking.
If he played for them and he was on, this team that people think can beat Alabama and that sort of thing, I think his stats would be all over the paper.
Yeah.
Well, all over the internet.
This just in from ESPN. Jonathan Mingo is likely out of the Ole Miss Alabama game for Ole Miss. He is their top receiver. Those of us who picked Ole Miss earlier in the week may have spoken too soon. And ESPN is still saying that JT Daniels is iffy for the Arkansas game.
Really?
we all.
We indeed. I believe I picked our.
If Stepping Baggett is back there under center for Georgia today. Oh man, that's a different ball game completely.
Hey, our magical mythical leader left us some comments.
Get your ass in here, boy.
Yeah, get your ass in here, boy.
What did he say?
Tennessee sticks to the tempo running game, and they should punish Mizzou.
I agree.
That's pretty much
yeah. That's pretty much it.
Running those.
Don't let them breathe.
3.1, 3.2 plays a minute.
See, and Mitch is playing to me because he said the tempo running game. Yes. I don't. If it's running game as long as the running game is used to set up the pass, I'm fine. I can get over being in shotgun on the 1 foot line. I watched my high school boys last night on a 2-point conversion. Take a 5-yard penalty, so they had more room to work with out of the shotgun on a 2-point conversion. I love the coaches. You my boy, JT. I mean, that absolutely
what the
hell? Crazy. Oh, okay.
Let me tell you why I get along.
Off my stump.
Why I get along? What the current Vol fan versus the Vol fan from 20 years ago, let's say. I care more now about the X's and O's, and I like watching game plans being
executed
well.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes down to making plays, and with the lack of missing a few plays, Callaway catches the ball in the third quarter against scores. That would have been a touchdown. There was nobody in front of him. I mean, they had that thing perfectly set up.
That was the
and Milton doesn't at that last play of the game. Milton doesn't focus on trying to squeeze the ball in on a fade route and sees the post wide open in the end zone. So I mean, it's just we're not there yet. We're getting there.
I'm gonna write this down right now because Mr. All Day also commented, Alante stay. Thanks for watching, Mitch.
Yeah.
Alante stayed.
Hashtag Alante stayed. Well, yeah. Cool.
If I can find a cheap place to get t-shirts made, I would have some made up. Preferably gray and orange writing.
Mm-hmm.
And we might wear them to the South Carolina game.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It'll be
weather's going to be nice. I could rock some short sleeves.
Oh, yeah. I imagine it'll be
70s.
Weather.
Mid 70s.
We are in the South.
Yes. All right. So is there anything else that we're about 24 and a half in? Is there anything else that we want to bring up?
There's a couple things.
Okay.
Another quote about today's game from the one, the only Tyon Evans, Mr. Tennessee running back.
Mr. Tennessee.
I feel like we finna have some fun. I feel like we finna have some fun.
Now, go
ahead.
This is a great quote.
Oh yeah.
It's also a veil. That it's not quite bulletin board material he's not outright calling anybody out or throwing shade at anybody. But it's a fail. We fitting to have some fun as a veiled threat saying we about to whoop that ass.
Yeah. That is exactly what
that's exactly what's that's code for, man.
Yeah. Your ass is fixing to get beat down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be running like
you're wearing black because they won't be able to see my cleat marks on your backside.
Indeed. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I usually like when the players on any given team, really, because I think kids are looking up to them and stuff. I like them to be well spoken.
Mm-hmm.
But every once in a while, we finna have some fun is all right by me.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's honest, it's earnest, it's a really, it's a cool quote. It is.
I like it.
Yeah.
Also, t-shirt material. Hashtag we finna have some fun.
Yeah, finna have some fun. Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
So we've been over. Obviously, we're hoping that Hooker's in there.
Yeah, I think
optimally
that's what we want. I mean, if we put Milton in there, we just got to be prepared to hand the ball off 70 times. Because
pretty much.
I don't see him throwing our way to victory. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of student body left, student body right, quarterback sneaks today. Blaze Aldridge is going to get his share of tackles. I mean, the kid's a good defender. He really is. But I mean, that's truly all they got. They got one guy.
Yeah.
And if we can block that one guy, okay.
Well, it makes the defense's job a hell of a lot easier.
Damn straight. Damn straight.
We get after that quarterback, get some sacks.
Yeah.
Game over.
Yep.
Where are we at? 27-37. I hate to go shot 30. I mean, God, we're blabbermouths.
Well, we can talk about a few other things. I want to give a shout out to my boys from Midway High School last night. You guys played a hell of a second half against a really good team from Cofield. They were down by 2 scores most of the game and made a really, really furious comeback to drop a hard one at home, 41 to 34. If you guys, those of you who keep track of Tennessee high school sports, go check out Emmett Hegland. He's all region quarterback. He's a good one. If he gets hooked on to a school somewhere, he'll make some waves at some point on the next level.
Now, did you hear who won the Baylor McCallie game?
McCallie 28-20. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that score. Not surprising. Not surprising. But
I think this is the
question is, did Baylor win the fight after the game?
What's that?
Did Baylor win the fight after the game? That's usually the way it is. There's one team that always wins the game on the field, and the other team wins the fight after, or their fans win the fight after the game. It's what my sage friend Charlie Steinhaus used to say about Red Bank and Saudi. Saudi would win the game, but Red Bank would win the fight after.
Damn, I don't know. Saudi is.
I mean, seriously, there's some teams in Chattanooga that usually win that are absolutely hurting this year.
Yeah.
Brainerd, I didn't know what the final ended up being, but Brainerd actually was doing pretty well last night. I did not see the final. I knew
McCallie had won because I didn't even check the score really, but I knew 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock, whatever time. Some kid's still riding down the road with his big ass flag hanging out of his truck with the band. You ain't gonna do that shit after you lose a game.
All right, folks, we're closing on the 30-minute mark. Do we have any products this week, Brando?
No products. Next week we will have products. I've got a picture.
We'll do them on. We'll try to do them on camera. I think the idea of trying to do the live, doing the tailgate, wait until Saturday and doing the tailgate is a promising idea. which
I
will
like it.
logistics stuff. It will also mandate the fact that y'all get y'all lazy asses up here early so we can get somewhere and get set up.
This is true.
Yes.
All right. Well, my final word will be this. In the words of Afro Man. Afro Man. Just listen. This is probably out of context for this song. Afro Man. Today's game. Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. Baby, that's all we need. We're going to win today.
Yep.
And I'm out. Broadcast over.
Have a good weekend, folks. See you next week. Catch you on the flip side.